To the Colonial in court.
While the investigations might not center upon the Colonial in and of itself, it's those that associate with that particular building.
The city seeks to shut down Billings' problem property as police raise growing concerns over gang activity. Plus, a city shakeup.
But we'll see what happens, and I wish them the very best.
There will soon be plenty of new faces in Billings' leadership positions, and now that may include a different city administrator. And hopping on the train.
Allowing them to hop on the train and Glendive or Billings and take it all the way west and see a lot of the rest of what our state has to offer would be great.
Montana Senator Tim Sheehy backing plans for passenger rail through southern Montana. The MTN 10 o'clock news starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. The future of the crime-ridden Colonial Apartments is now in the hands of a judge. The city is pursuing a preliminary injunction to close the building and begin evictions. This is the latest twist coming after the death of the property's owner, John Scoggie. Our David J. was in the courtroom as the Billings Police Department even made their case, saying gang activity is now becoming a problem at the location.
Over the last several months, my unit's become familiar with the 300 Block Crip gang here in Billings that has taken up, for all intents and purposes, a stronghold at the Colonial. It's just known that there is a lot of gang members, both validated and what we would call hang-arounds, people that aren't necessarily validated gang members but are closely associated with the gang.
Detective Sergeant Benjamin Beck testified about pictures taken of the inside of the Colonial.
3-point crown that is going to be a calling card of 300 block. So the 3 points mean 3.
The city and the trustees of John Scoggie's trust both want to see the tenants evicted and the building condemned. The trustees want to make sure it's all done properly.
We agree with the city that it's not a safe place. Our only concern is, who needs to act on behalf of the trust and how can we protect the tenants' due process rights. And I think those are things that we can work through.
Attorney Michelle Ostry represents Marty Livingston, the late John Scoggie's daughter. Livingston, who is a trustee, testified by video. Chelsea Kemp has power of attorney for her mother, who is also a trustee but was injured by Scoggie. Is that something you think your mom wants to?
100%, yeah. She's always been very involved in the community. Many people know and love her, and she would want what's best, what's safest.
The city's code enforcement attempted to make the property safer.
The foundation issues on the southeast corner, we had peeling paint. On the north side of the building, there's an exposed electrical box on the outside.
The attorney for the city declined an interview, but during her closing did point to agreement between the city and co-trustee Livingston.
Miss Livingston, who stands in the shoes of her father's estate and trust, she wants everyone out of the building.
We need to act quickly in order to ensure the safety of our community. So I really pray that that's the truth.
I will have you a decision well in advance to let you know what will occur on that 30-day mark.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
A Billings teen who admitted to stabbing another teenager to death will spend the next 60 years in prison. 18-year-old Chiron Wolfblack was sentenced for the deliberate homicide of 17-year-old Britton Olson, a student at Billings West. Prosecutors say Wolfblack attacked Olson during a confrontation last April after first going after another teen tied to a dispute. He was arrested later that day at a home on North 22nd Street. Wyoming's governor is calling in the National Guard, this time to help with immigration enforcement. Governor Mark Gordon has approved activating up to 15 guardsmen to support ICE in coming months, handling administrative, logistics, and transportation duties. The mission is expected to begin before September 13th, but Guard officials say they haven't received orders yet, so it's still unclear where they'll be sent. Well, the government launched Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago today as they look to round up suspected illegal immigrants. The Trump administration says it's targeting public safety and national security threats. The Illinois operation comes as the Supreme Court has temporarily removed limits on what critics call aggressive, unconstitutional immigration roundups based on factors including a person's apparent ethnicity. Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote a scathing dissent, calling it a misuse of the emergency docket and saying we should not have to live in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and appears to work a low-wage job. Tom Homan, the Trump administration's border czar, disagrees.
ICE agents aren't racially profiled. The law says you've got to establish reasonable suspicion to detain and question somebody. And I think the men and women, ICE and Border Patrol, are doing exactly that. And I think the Supreme Court disagreed with us.
The Trump administration says it will continue to crack down on sanctuary cities. The mayor of Chicago says the city did not receive advance notice of the enhanced immigration action and remains opposed to any potential militarized enforcement. The president has not yet announced a deployment of National Guard troops to that city. A shakeup could be coming to Billings city leadership sooner rather than later. 5 city council seats are on the ballot, and Mayor Bill Cole's term is nearing an end. Now City Administrator Chris Kukulski is interviewing for a new position in Michigan. Charlie Kleps breaks down what all these changes could mean for the Magic City.
Out with the old.
The downside of that is you lose some collective memory.
And in with the new.
So you can get new people, new ideas, and fresh energies.
That could be the theme for the next few months at City Hall, with leadership changes on the way.
We'll see what happens with this.
Those changes will take effect at this building in just a couple of months, as Mayor Bill Cole will be reaching his term limits and will be finished in just over 2 months. And 5 of the 10 city council seats will also be on the ballot in November.
Yeah, there's no doubt that there's going to be some different people in the seats.
Shifts in leadership, with another potentially on the way as well.
I'm interested in being a part of that success.
That's current Billings City Administrator Chris Kukulski interviewing for a county administrator position in Ottawa County, Michigan.
I'm a firm believer that we're in control of our own destiny.
That interview took place Monday, as Kukulski, who grew up in Michigan, was one of 5 finalists for the job.
Chris had contacted all the city council members last week to give them a heads up.
Mayor Cole says he wasn't surprised by the interview due to Kukulski's ties to Michigan and the challenges that come with a city administrator position.
This is a hard job, and every time his salary comes up, there's been debates about whether he should even get paid whatever increase is going to our other city employees. So that probably gets a little bit old.
Last year, salary discussions for Kukulski were postponed until this year, while the city waited for results from the water bill audit. Cole knows that if he gets the job in Michigan, salary for that position will be an important conversation. Currently, Kukulski makes about $218,000, which is $80,000 less than the city administrator in Bozeman.
It's very important that we be able to offer market compensation.
On top of that, Cole says it comes at a fluid time when many new faces could be in charge by the time a new city administrator steps into the role.
One question is who should even make this decision? Should it be the old council, which will include people like me, who will not be around in the future, or should it only be the people who will need to work with the city administrator in the future?
All questions hindering on Kukulski getting the new job. Cole says if he doesn't, they'll welcome him back with open arms.
Anybody who works for the city know that they're not in prison. We want people who have other options, that are willing to explore those other options.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Charlie did reach out to Kukulski for comments on this story, but did not hear back. On the economic front, the Bureau of Labor Statistics issued a major revision today, showing the U.S. added 911,000 fewer jobs than initially estimated over a 12-month period that ended in March. The president has been highly critical of BLS and the data, even firing the Bureau's commissioner back in August. In light of the sharp downward revision, the White House once again called on the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates when it meets later this month. The monthly jobs data is based on a survey of businesses, and some companies respond after the agency's initial jobs report has been issued.
Turned out to be a nice day to go out and take a walk, even if you're a turkey. And, well, the hen and poults, as Suzanne correctly identified them. For me, I'm just going to call them Mama Turkey and the kids. But across the region now, as we take a live look with the Stockman Bank weather cam, we had 86 for a high. 54 was the coolest temperature all day long. Top wind gust at 24 miles an hour. Statewide temperatures mainly in the 80s east of the Continental Divide today. We'll talk about the forecast coming up.
Drivers in Billings are once again slamming the brakes out of confusion. Earlier this week, we showed you video of drivers blowing through a brand new stop downtown as part of the two-way street conversion. Well, now another intersection on the far west end also causing trouble, enough for Billings police to issue a warning. Pay attention or pay the price. Tonight, our Andrea Lutz takes us there.
Busy. That's one way to describe it.
All everybody's got to do is just pay a little bit more attention.
At 44th and King.
Nobody honors the four-way system. Everybody's just trying to get where they need to go.
Noisy is another.
Everybody wants to get home, but if you're not paying attention, you probably won't get home.
Dustin Wilson sees it daily.
I can't tell you how many people I've seen blow through them.
Temporary stop signs went up here.
It's going to end up getting somebody killed for sure.
He lives nearby.
I was at the stop sign waiting, and some lady just blew through there, probably going 70 miles an hour. And if I wouldn't have stopped, I mean, she would have got me. We were probably 6 feet away.
It's a common sight, so common Billings police are now warning drivers, slow down or risk a crash.
In a matter of a day, you've got hundreds of cars coming through here. And I mean, probably just in our time filming, we've probably had close to 100, 150 cars come through here.
Sergeant Jeff Stovall sees it too as he monitors the intersection. Drivers caught off guard.
Yeah, for the most part, it's a lot of the rolling stops. You know, just on my personal time out here, I've seen people that have just blown straight through at 30, 40 miles an hour.
One concern is probably the speed.
And while it feels a bit hectic, nearby worker Derek Bartel says some kind of traffic control is needed.
Awareness is a big thing, especially when the speed is a factor and with how much it has grown. There's a lot of more traffic and new homes and developments out here, so people have to adjust.
I don't know what they're in such a hurry for, but...
And Dustin agrees.
All you got to do is pay a little bit more attention. When you're in a car, you can hurt yourself or you can kill somebody else. And it's not worth the risk.
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
Billings police say those stop signs are temporarily put in place while another road is closed for construction. The typical fine is $110. However, the municipal court may impose more hefty fines based on driving records. Well, the Billings airport is set to see record number of travelers this year. That has leaders looking at future expansion. The airport is now in the midst of creating a 20-year master plan to accommodate the uptick in passengers. Those plans will most definitely include more parking, something the airport's director of aviation, Jeff Roach, calls a priority. He says the new proposal will also address infrastructure at the airport, such as airfield taxiways and runway systems, terminals, and commercial and private aircraft areas.
We've gotten some feedback that the community would like us to look at parking infrastructure. We're going to continue to expand. We're going to continue to grow as an airport, both in passenger and air cargo service.
The airport is looking for the public's feedback on the master plan. They held their first community meeting tonight and plan to hold more of those in coming months.